Icarus. Release date: on 20 November 2021. Platform: Windows. Icarus is an upcoming open-world survival crafting game from DayZ creator Dean Hall. Designed to be played solo or with up to 8 players, the game has you exploring a harsh alien wilderness in limited time sessions due to the planet's harsh conditions. While on the surface, you'll go around completing faction missions, gathering valuable exotic materials, and defending yourself from wild animals. At the end of the session, you'll return to your ship with any collected materials and have an opportunity to craft new gear and conduct research for future upgrades. The Anacrusis. Release date: Fall 2021. Platform: Windows, Xbox. In case you haven't noticed, there's been a massive resurgence in 4-player cooperative shooters this year, with more games releasing than we can keep track of. One that's managed to catch our attention is the Anacrusis, a groovy sci-fi first-person shooter set aboard a huge starship located at the edge of outer space. In it, you and a group of friends band together to fend off alien hordes while discovering new perks, weapons, and strategies to keep your teammates alive. While there's still no set release date, the promise of community mod support definitely has us keeping an eye out for the Anacrusis in the future. Anvil. Release date: on December 2021. Platform: Windows. Anvil is a top-down shooter with action roguelike elements and online co-op that will be released into Steam Early Access later this December. In it, players take on the role of vault breakers, explorers tasked with scouring the galaxies in search of vaults containing the last remnants of alien civilizations. Breakers can wield a wide array of powers, artifacts, and weapons to aid them in battling the many monsters and unique bosses that guard each vault. Over time, players can enhance their breaker's mechanical body via EXP-based progression unlocks that allow for different playstyles and team synergies. Survival Machine. Platform: Windows. Another co-op survival game that shows promise is Survival Machine, a third-person open-world game from indie developer Grape Pickers. In it, you and your friends traverse ever-changing lands via a massive vehicle that also serves as your base of operations. Gameplay revolves around building, upgrading, and fortifying the machine to ward off zombies that try to overtake it at night. Along with outfitting your machine with cannons, spikes, and other traps, you can craft weapons and armor to defend yourself while you're out exploring the world. Trash Sailors. Platforms: Windows, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch. Sporting striking hand-drawn visuals, Trash Sailors is an upcoming co-op survival game that sees up to 4 castaways sailing across the open seas. Careful, for parts of your ship can break off and will need to be repaired to avoid sinking. You can also collect trash floating in the water and use it to craft weapons, make fuel, and upgrade your boat. Trash Sailors includes dozens of maps for players to explore, each with its own unique hazards and enemy types, including swamp crocodiles, Arctic pirates, toxic sharks, and many more. Overall, the game has a fun and cartoony vibe that's sure to provide hours of enjoyment for you and a couple of friends. Jak Axe. Platforms: Windows, Nintendo Switch, Mac. Jak Axe is an upcoming 2D puzzle platformer about an adorably tough hero named Jak and her Viking sisters. Together, they'll explore a unique world using magical axes that pull their users towards them once thrown in any direction. This allows for tons of incredible-looking platforming feats that require quick reflexes to pull off while also battling enemies. The game will support up to 4 players throughout its campaign and party modes, ensuring no Viking queens get left behind. Skeleton Crew. Platform: Windows. Embark on an adventure in the decaying world of Carpathia where humans are outnumbered by hordes of monsters and you and your friends are all that's left of humanity. Skeleton Crew has up to 4 players exploring 2D Gothic environments designed around platforming and brawling against a host of otherworldly enemies. Along the way, you'll come across various weapons and items that can be picked up, aimed at, and kicked to accomplish just about any task, namely hurting bad guys. The game features 12 Gothic heroes to play as, many of which you'll have to track down across 17 hand-crafted levels brimming with ghosts, demons, and ghouls. Rainbox Six Extraction. Platforms: Windows, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox. Originally announced as Rainbow Six Quarantine, Extraction is a co-op spin-off to Siege that sees players working together to defeat parasitic aliens called the Archaeans. Designed for up to 3-player teams, Gameplay revolves around infiltrating locations overrun with aliens and completing various tasks before escaping. Missions, referred to as incursions, will range from collecting biosamples to gathering intel, all while exploring interconnected submaps with randomly assigned objectives. Players can choose from a pool of 18 operators based on siege characters, each with their own arsenal of weapons and gadgets to combat the alien threat. The Outlast Trials. Platform. Windows. Instead of putting out a third installment that mirrors the single-player design of the first two games, The Outlast Trials is a multiplayer-focused affair. Details are far and few between at the moment, but what we do know is the horror game will take place during the Cold War era. In it, you and your friends are involuntarily recruited to become test guinea pigs for mind control experiments at the hands of a shady corporation. Players will have to work together to make it out alive while their morals, endurance, and sanity are put through the ringer. LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. Platforms. Windows, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox, Nintendo Switch. All signs point towards LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga being a pivotal entry in the long-running LEGO game franchise. The upcoming title plans on adapting all 9 episodes of the Star Wars saga for modern consoles and high-resolution displays. So far, we know it will feature fully voiced dialogue and allow players to complete any of the episodes in whichever order they choose. Given the success of the original games and the rise in quality of more recent entries, we're confident the Skywalker saga will be a great time. Smalland. Platform. Windows. As much as we love Grounded, there's enough room for 2 small-scale survival games that let us live out our fantasies, and nightmares, of being shrunk down and let loose in a sprawling backyard sandbox. However, to see the best Smalland's world has to offer, you'll have to brave brutal weather conditions and survive run-ins with various enemies including spiders, birds, rats, lizards, and more. Fortunately, there is an abundance of hidden resources you can use to craft armor, weapons, shelter, and other tools such as mountable bugs. You can also customize outfits to acquire special resistances and abilities using various workshops at your camp which can be upgraded over time. Warhammer 40,000. Darktide. Platforms. Windows, Xbox. The Warhammer franchise is no stranger to co-op-centric experiences, with many citing the Vermintide games as worthy alternatives to the Left 4 Dead games. Set in the war-ravaged futuristic city of Tertium, Warhammer 40,000. Darktide has up to 4 players working together to defeat hordes of enemies called Poxwalkers. Much like Vermintide, the game presents itself as a first-person action game with visceral combat and unique character classes. A recent gameplay trailer shows off just a few of the weapons we can expect to wield in Darktide, including laser-powered rifles and a badass-looking chainsword. Gotham Knights. Platforms. Windows, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox. Best known for Batman: Arkham Origins, developer WB Games Montreal is back with another game set in the DC universe. With the Caped Crusader supposedly dead, Gotham Knights shifts its focus to his super-powered protégés as they're called to defend Gotham City. Presented as a co-op-based action RPG for up to 4 players, the game sees you donning the mantle of Batgirl, Robin, Red Hood, and Nightwing with help from friends. A single-player mode will also be available, allowing one player to swap between the 4 characters throughout the campaign. Redfall. Platforms. Windows, Xbox. It's been exciting to see developer Arcane branch out from the Dishonored series and explore new ideas and themes with games like Prey, Deathloop, and now Redfall. The company's Austin-based studio is currently working on an open-world co-op shooter centered on a team of survivors battling supernatural forces. Players will be able to choose their character from a diverse cast with unique abilities before setting off to liberate the small town of Redfall, Massachusetts from vampires. Considering Arcane Austin has primarily focused on single-player affairs, it'll be interesting to see how the team approaches a co-op shooter in a post-Left 4 Dead world.